Good morning, natural grandma viewers. Turn these four ways off on this this Kubota. But big old bear who was born with goats. He lived with goats until he was 10 weeks old, and then Laura bought him. And he's an Anatolian Pyrenees, but he shows the Anatolian nature, kind of king of the mountain. Very prestigious, walks with authority, and he's marked up and built more like the, I'm not saying that right, probably you can correct me in the comments there, but Anatolian. He has proved out in just a couple weeks to be a lot better guardian than the dog that come with these little Kiko Savannah crossed Dolings that Laura bought. But they're just finishing up. She shot a video over here yesterday of setting with them. Now you hear in the background we have a couple pit bulls up the street. That's the interesting thing about homesteading inside city limits. And they're tied, but there really is no dog law in Bosworth, so they could come right down here. But they probably would wreak havoc with these little goats if it wasn't for this 7,000 volt electric netting and bear. And I would guarantee if they enter the premises where those goats are, bear would show them his ability to take down a bear, and a pit bull would not be a match for him. And that's, you have to make your animal safe, and it doesn't matter your environment. This is a unique type of homestead that I think is available all across the Midwest for sure, probably a lot of places. A lot of these smaller towns have lost population. They've lost, you know, they used to thrive. This town at one time had 900 people in it, and there's less than 300 now. So there's lots of old homes that are on lots, and you can usually buy the rundown lots for a lot less per acre than you would buy land out in the rural world, which this is pretty rural. And the reason you can buy it for less is because it needs clean up. Barry is standing on an old basement there, and he's quite interested in why them dogs might be barking in his direction. But old concrete there, and he says, "Where are you? Who are you? And why are you so noisy?" But he just moves around with a lot of dignity and authority and attentiveness. And we like it a lot. But you have these unique problems of, you know, being real close neighbors. But, you know, my friend Keith down in Georgia had dogs come down the road. You know, he's out in the country, but the dogs, you know, those houses are fairly close together up and down those roads. It's really hard to get away from people. But here you can buy the properties for a lot less, and you can beautify America by cleaning them up. We're getting all the underbrush out of there, and then we're cutting trees, and they're eating the foliage off of those, and then we drop them in an old basement, and we are allowed to burn. So we'll put a burner to that old wood that's in them basements and clean them up, and then we'll pick out a few trees that we want to leave selective silvopasture, and at some point we'll get a track hoe and we'll knock the walls in on that old basement, and at that point we'll probably have to bring in some fill dirt and some topsoil, and we'll smooth that up. And you know, at that point the goats may have to work a little more in other places You see a telephone pole. Yesterday, when Laura expanded this fence out, you could not see that fire hydrant for the brush and stuff growing up around it. So we're naturally weed eating a road ditch here. And, we'll let that go away and grow. And see, there's the culvert where the goes across the next street. We're actually on Matheson Street in Bosworth, a junction of Matheson and Grossman. And we're just cleaning this property up and making goat meat as we go. In this case, breeding does. We will breed them next December for a May kidding. And 6 of these have already had kids. And the others were all just February babies. So they'll be well past a year old next May. They'll have probably one kid. The 1-year-olds that will be 2-year-olds by then will very possibly have 2. Could even get 3. And then we do have another property that we have had control over. We own part and we lease part, but we haven't been able to use it yet because we haven't built fence. And we kind of know now why God kept us from building the fence, because now we've toyed with all different types of fences, and now we will be building 6-wire high tensile that is only 40 or 42 inches tall, and that will turn goats and certainly will turn any cow. So we'll be able to co-graze cows and goats then on that farm. But yeah, right in a small town, grazing by a fire hydrant. Very effective way of restoring some of this land. This land is extremely fertile. When you buy some of those old farms out in the bigger world, you get depleted soil that really won't grow anything. And it may take you 50 years, like it did Joel Salton, to get it into production well. Well, this soil here has been nothing but yards for this house that was here was probably built in the very early 1900s. The house we live in was built in 1917. It's on the other end of this block. So we have almost a full block here that took me several years to acquire. But if you come into an area where, there's maybe one house and a whole bunch of basements or houses that need to be taken down, and sometimes you can get the wood out of those buildings. We would have liked to have here, if arson had not attacked one of our houses. We'd got woodwork out there that was gorgeous, and Laura was going to reclaim the windows and make a greenhouse. But oh well, it's down now, and we can get these 2 basements probably cleaned up on this end of the property. And, you can do those kind of things a little as you go. If you didn't have the ability to pay for a track hoe, you can always just get somebody to bring you fill dirt when they're digging other basements. Sometimes they'll give you the dirt just for a place to dump it. You could actually just fill the basements in with goats and leave the foundation sticking up, and then grow grass right around that, and maybe do a garden or something inside that old basement, put topsoil in. So lots of ways. I'm trying to make your mind think. Our rustic viewers that come over to us, I know you're scattered all over the United States, and we appreciate you guys so much. And our viewers that don't know about our rustic life, we'd like you to go over and check out Vincent's channel. And if you're one of our viewers, YouTube has kind of stalled us out again. We got it to 1,800 subscribers, and then one morning in 15 seconds we lost 10, and a few mornings later, in about less than 20 minutes, I know for sure, we lost 10 more. That put us to 1,780 subscribers, and I know people that have subscribed in the last month or so, and they have put some kind of a lockdown on us again. It appears. I don't know how or why, or have the ability to interpret all that. But I know one way you battle it is more subscribers. So if you're one of our subscribers and you know someone else that would enjoy our channel, please share the link through a text. Just go to share, hit that. It'll pull up text or email. You can email them the link or share the link. And then, like Vincent did, ask them to show us some love. And just, if we got 1,780 subscribers, by, if every one of you shared to one person and half of them subscribed, by Monday morning we could have 2,500 subscribers. And maybe we could break this, because what we want to do is teach people how to do regenerative farming with cattle, and possibly we're looking at herd sheep and certainly the goats, and we do it our own way, and that might be a way that you want to learn from and do. Laura's doing raised gardening that we'll add someday as she gets that going. Portable raised gardening, by the way, and with trellises for the beans and stuff. And we have the bigger farm that we show too, but we have a unique mix of bigger acres. I have been doing the MIG, we call it, management intensive grazing, for over 35 years. We have neighbors such as Greg Judy. I met Joel Salton 30 years ago. So I've got a background of, farming for over 50 years in a very holistic way. And then adding in the what we call then the controlled grazing. Now we've adapted to regenerative grazing, which is longer rest periods and more restoration, and add in the multiple species that Joel Salton has taught. So natural Gramma has 2 M's in it. I like to teach when I speak places on, mobbing is the thing you have to do to impact the soil. We kind of mob these up. We're making them work this over in a unique way, and then we move them on, and this will rest. And then if the chickens, we do it in the tractors. And then you got to be mobile, and it has to be easy to be mobile. Like this electric netting is fairly easy and quick and fairly inexpensive. And then that third M is you. Just look in the mirror and say, I am the third M. So Natural Gramma has 2 M's in it. So we're looking for people that will bring their M and put it with our 2 M's and do mobbing with mobile use of animals, and use the management to apply to your soil. You start like Vincent did down there with not much grass because he mowed it and he's got a different type of soil, then you got to move quicker, and maybe you need to apply carbon before you put the animal there. Well, the Santa Fe Burlington Northern is headed to Kansas City or Chicago, one or the other. One of them comes through about every 20 minutes. So you can hear them in the background. If you like trains, a lot of these little towns in the Midwest have trains that go through them, because that's why this town expanded. Bosworth originally had North Bosworth that was built square to the world. That's what we're sitting on, is square to the world. And then the train come through. And when the train come through, the town grew, and all those streets set at a diagonal with the train tracks. The Santa Fe goes from Kansas City to Chicago is what we set on. So if you like to hear a train at night while you're sleeping, and Laura and I both do, then some of these small towns in a few lots, you might be able to get yourself up to an acre pretty easy. I think we got about 3 acres here. Are a great resource. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you live. Let me know what small town you would like to live in Missouri, and maybe I can tell you if there's anything available there. So we love you guys. We so appreciate our YouTube connection and all the friends we've made, both with the other YouTubers and the ones we've met that just made comments. We love to hear from you. We try to answer every one of them, and we'll share all the information that we can find with you. So hey, fathers, happy Father's Day. It's a great day to be a father in this world. And it's a great day to bask in the Lord's Day and bask in how good our Heavenly Father is to us. Just allow us to have breath and the blood that flows through us, and to be able to be peaceful out with everything that He put here for us to enjoy when he first placed us in that garden. Let's get back to it. Let's come back through the east gate and get back to the garden that we belong in. What do you think about that there, viewers? Natural Grandma, old Papa Hank, happy Father's Day.